Hello, my dear sister. I am so excited to do this video. What your very high vibrational child wants you to know. Okay, so I'm including the video blog that goes with this because that gives you the first thing they want you to know, what your role is to preserve their divinity. Okay, so you know that. I'm going to give you a few other things they want you to know. And the first one, and I get this sometimes, is often actually, do these children know what their purpose is coming in? And I think sometimes when people ask me this, they're looking for like, do they know what they're going to do when they grow up? And they will never give you an answer like that. All these children coming in do have the same purpose, and it has nothing to do with an occupation. It has to do with a consciousness. So the purpose of these children coming in right now is simply for joy, okay? If you're watching this video, it's because you are parenting a very high vibrational baby, a very high vibrational child. Chances are the karma has already been worked through, and we're doing like the karma-free, baggage-free, high vibrational gig here, okay? So the purpose of these children is not to clear karma, which is what it has been for all of us through lifetimes, eons of time. That time is over. If you've been following my material for a while, you know that the karmic template has been wiped out or is in the process of being wiped out for us. And these children are coming in baggage-free, karma-free. There is nothing to clear up, which means they don't have to go through the difficulties that we have. It's time for a brand new experience, a brand new consciousness. And the reason they're coming here, if they're not coming to clear karma, it's to create this new vibration of this new earth, okay? They're coming for the joy of it. I just did a baby reading, not a spirit baby reading, but a baby reading yesterday of this wonderful little 3-month-old boy. And he was showing me this vision of him, whatever he touches, kind of just turns to gold, I mean, we're going to have surprises with these children, but we're going to get to that in a minute. The whole purpose is for joy, but in that joy, there will be the expansion of limits that the parents think. Boundaries will come down, walls will come down, fear will be pushed through. These children know what they came here to do, and I'm being shown right now. It's almost like a bulldozer of light, you know? Like this bulldozer of light that will just break through any barriers that have anything to do with the old world based on fear, doubt, lack, limitations, slavery, consciousness, lack consciousness, all that stuff. They're going to bust it all down. This is already happening in generations. This is already happening in teens, in the 20s. This is already happening. It's just going to keep getting more and more dramatic. I'm just wondering if I should put this in here. Yeah, you know what? I am going to put it in here. Some of these older children that have come in, and I would say the ones in the teens right now, they came in with a very high vibration that this world was yet to honor, and they've had a rough time of it. Many of them have had a rough time of it, especially if they're having a hard time conforming to the old world, and the supports around them are so old world. It can be just so harsh. Which is why I don't want to dwell on this so much, but it's why things like school shootings have been on the rise and suicides have been on the rise, because the vibration of the child and the vibration of the world has not been meshed, and it's just been too much. That time is over. It's over, okay? Things are changing because of this. And I also want to say, those children that have died have not died in vain. It's because of them that things are changing. So So it's almost like a catalyst. It's almost like them earning their wings. And you can betcha that those children that have lost their lives in any of those situations, they will be coming back now to the same families if that's what is wanted, because this vibration of the earth can now handle that vibration. There is one beloved woman that I can think of right now. I've been working with her all year, and she lost a 15-year-old son. That son, because he was so sensitive and so in tune, so higher vibration, and the density of the earth could not support that. He had to go home. And the mother is so high vibrational too. I have chills. And if you want her information, email me if you know, because she's got such wisdom about what he went through. And that child will be coming back imminently. He's coming back imminently. So all this to say that it has been harsh. It has been harsh in the world for these high vibrational children, but not anymore, okay? Not anymore. The wheels are in motion. Things are already changing drastically in all departments, and this world will be recreated to withstand and support and celebrate and even enhance these higher vibrational children. So why are they coming? For the joy of it, to bulldoze anything that is not of light and love, and to lift the vibration of this earth into a new frequency. This is the purpose of the new children coming in. And as parents, we have been going through our own initiations of life, light and love. Many of you have experienced this on your way to motherhood as well. So many things are coming in to support the light, okay? And it's coming from us now. These children coming in are pure light, and their purpose is for the joy, to bring the frequency of joy into this earth. All right, I got a little sidetracked there, but I feel like it was important. Okay, something you're going to notice about these children coming in, and this has everything to do with their purpose. I noticed this with my second child. I could feel it when he was in my belly, because I was actually going through a tough time. There was a little bit of depression, and I was worried that it was affecting him. But thankfully, when I tuned in, he's like, "Mama, you're going through what you need to be going through. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm insulated." It was this feeling of self-possession, just very self-insulated, self-possessed, self-sourced, and sort of protected from the lower vibrations of whatever I had to be experiencing. He knew it was all about me and nothing about him. That is what these children come in, self-possession. Even now, if I'm having a tough day, they know it's not because they've done anything wrong. They just know it's something I'm going through. And so what do? They love me unconditionally. I have learned so much from them, how to handle their moods, seeing them handle my moods. They don't try and fix me. They don't try and make me feel better. They hug me. They tell me I'm the best mama in the world and I'm going to feel better soon. This is the self-possession, all right? They know they're okay. They know they're good. They know that we have to go through our stuff. Even if they can't vocalize this, even though they will vocalize it, when they're ready to, when they're able to, they will vocalize. I remember one of my first son, it was, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago or so. I was going through one of those dark days, and he said to me, "Mama, you know what, even though you're having a really hard time on the outside, I can tell you're really happy with yourself on the inside." I mean, these are the things these kids are coming up with. They're very self-possessed, they're very wise, and they will love us unconditionally. However, along with the self-possession comes a stubbornness, and that is a gift, okay? The stubbornness is a gift, because they come in knowing exactly what they're doing here, why they came, what their role is, and what they need to do to be that bulldozer of light. So that stubbornness, look at that as them just being a bulldozer of light. So if they're having it, they don't have tantrums anymore, but back when they would have tantrums, which was not that often because I was always sort of partnering with them, if there was something that was upsetting them and it was because of something I had withheld or didn't want to do, I would look and see Okay, where am I limiting them? Moreover, where am I limiting myself? And if this is really important to them, then how can I meet them where they are? So it doesn't mean we have to give in to them all the time, but we can meet them where they are. Wow, there's so many topics I could talk about. I'm going to give you like one example, all right? Even though this could probably be a whole one on how our new children don't need discipline. So maybe I'll just give you a little blip. I don't do timeouts in this house, never have. I don't do punishments, discipline. If someone's having a hard time, I guess some people call it a time in. I gather them, in my lap. I rock them. I listen to them. But the best part is just being silent, okay? Just being silent. And this is a whole nother thing, so I'll talk about it later. But just be silent whenever they're going through, and quietly just affirm, this is perfect. I love this line, you are the perfect expression of perfect love. And I got that from a book, Richard Bach, Illusions 2. I love it so much, I use it all the time. So you can just quietly affirm that when your child's having a hard time, you are a perfect expression of perfect love. And whatever they're going through, they can work through it on their own. So you're just sort of giving them this container of love. And that love helps with self-correction. They come to their own self-correction. But if they're having a hard time, look to see where you're limiting them. And if it's really necessary, see where you're limiting yourself. Is it really necessary? Can I expand into this? Or how is this taking me out of my current thinking? How is this expanding me into a new way of thinking? And I'm going to give you an example. And this was with my second son. He hated to brush his teeth. And I was going through a fearful time about teeth at that point. So we'd actually have to hold him down and brush his teeth. And I'm like, this feels terrible. This feels absolutely horrible. This is better for him, holding him down and brushing his teeth. Why am I doing this? Out of fear. Out of fear. Now, you're going to have to find your own conclusions to this sort of thing, but I came to the conclusion of, you know what, me affirming that his teeth are healthy and perfect and he'll brush when he needs to, felt better, healthier, higher dimensional, more expansive than pinning him down and bullying him to brush his teeth. That's just one example of, how you can expand beyond what you think the rules are. Which leads to the third one, what your very high vibrational child wants you to know. Don't, by any means, enforce limited thinking, fearful thinking on your children, okay? This is where the contention comes. This is where the bulldozer comes. I say this in my book, What All Spirit Babies Want Their Mamas to Know, is when you have a very high vibrational child and they're born to parents who are unwilling to change, it can be very, very contentious. And I say that we should always defer to the child's wisdom. One of my favorite sayings that I came up with is trust children, allow them to be the masters they are. These children coming in are natural masters. They will teach us how to be Zen masters as well. But we should not be enforcing limits on them, fear on them. And by that, I have used my whole life to not tell them that, oh, we can't afford this, or, we don't have enough money for this, or, instead I'll just say, I'm not going to spend money on that right now. If it's something I feel like I can't do, I watch the words, not like, I want them to know that the universe is abundant, infinitely abundant. So don't tell your children black things about money. And find the words that mean something to you. Another thing I haven't wanted to teach my children is to be afraid of food. And I know this is controversial, so I won't get too much into it right now. But I have been steering away from food judgment my whole life, and I want them to keep their innocence about food. I'm going to be doing a whole other projects about food. But I don't want them to have the judgment and the fear about food that has been ingrained in us, that is limited thinking. So come up with your own ways that mean something to you. But don't force your fears. Don't force the limits. Don't force the doubts, and don't force the old world to these new children. Let them lead the way more often. Because if we don't let them lead the way, they're going to bulldoze us to the ground anyway. All right, so that leads us to, wow, these are really segueing really nicely into each other. Be prepared for life to look very different than what you thought. And this has been true for me ever since I got pregnant. You know, I thought I would be the one who, had the epidural, the hospital birth, sent the kids to school, circumcised, all that stuff. When I got pregnant, my whole worldview changed and my whole focus changed. Allow your worldview to change. Allow your focus to change. Allow your ideas of parenting to change. It doesn't have to be the way we were brought up and our parents were brought up and our grandparents were brought up. In fact, that's where children rebel, because those things are not supporting their high vibrational demeanor right now. And the outside things will change to support it, but sometimes, and I'll just use the example of school right now. A lot of children don't want to go to school right now, and for good reason, because many schools don't support their high vibration. Thankfully, there is more and more increases of schools that do support the higher vibration of children. But until that happens, many, and it's affordable and whatever else, many kids just might combat school. One of the ways my life changed was not only saying, okay, my kids aren't going to go to school, but I'm not even going to homeschool them. I'm going to unschool them, which means I don't teach school at home. I let them lead the way. And when you sort of get out of the way and let them lead the way, they know what they came here to do. They have the resources they need. This is important, okay? We are not their source. We are not our children's source of wisdom, of guidance, of how the world is supposed to go. We are not their source. They came in with a very, very highly attuned inner source, and that is what's going to guide them. And I see my kids sourcing themselves. My middle child taught himself math. And when we tried to write down what he was doing, it was just messing him up. He's got his own way of doing it in his head that is so much faster than what I could do. I tried teaching my first son how to read for 5 years, and it was only when I stopped trying to teach him that he figured it out on his own. We are not their teachers, okay? We are their support. We are their partnership. The authoritative parent to the, meek child is gone. This is a partnership. So expect life to look very different than how you were parented. And follow your heart, okay? I would never presume to tell anybody how to parent. But if you're parenting from the heart, and if you're parenting from love, if you're listening to your child, you got this. You got this. The last thing they want me to tell you is that the main focus should not be on, oh my gosh, do I dare say this? They want me to say it. Should not be on getting an education so you can go to college, so you can get a good job. Those times are over. They want me to scream it, O-V-E-R. That is such bullshit. It is such bullshit. The education system does not support them. Getting a college degree does not support them. Getting a corporate job that pays a lot of money does not support them. And that's why all this stuff is going to shit. You can see how powerful I feel about this. I should probably keep this family friendly. All right, no more swearing. The children will not conform to such twisted, insane thoughts of, this is not how we're supposed to live. This is not how we're supposed to live. I was shown a dream back in 2006 that changed my life. and it showed me what a fifth dimensional planet looks like. And it was all about play, not just the children, but the adults are on these huge water slides together. There's these fancy dressed up balls, the PB&J ball it was called. And the parents and the children are all dressed up dancing with, and there's these thick cut peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on the as centerpieces. Adults and children playing together, partnering together. They are coming for joy. They are coming to remind us of the child that is still within us. We are here for joy. So not only is life going to look very, very different, and sometimes it's going to be bumpy as we transition. It's going to be bumpier for us than it is for them. But it is leading to a very, very different existence, a very higher vibrational family, a family of light. We are leading somewhere entirely, entirely different. Oh, there's so much I could say about this, but this is why they are coming for play, joy, and partnership. They are coming because they love you. And this is another message. Even though a lot of these children coming in are first timers, they still have known you on the higher dimensions. There is still so much love there, even if they haven't had past incarnations with you. And if they have had past incarnations with you, then you've already done the work to clear the karma, to clear the baggage, and they are still coming in for joy, play, and partnership. So I want to end this with a blessing for these families of light. If you're watching this, you're part of a family of light. So we're going to call in the Divine Mother. You know what? They didn't say this one, but yes, they want you to know this. Speak divinity to them. They remember whether it's the angels or God or Jesus or spirit or lights or orbs. They remember, even if they can't verbalize it, even if it's still just buried in their heart a little bit, they remember divinity. Speak divinity to them. Remind them that they have, this is like the most important one. I can't believe I didn't write it down. Remind them they have a piece of divinity in them, the piece of them that is God, the piece that is guiding them, that provides for them. My youngest is, I mean, not only has he has this divinity here, it outshines. I mean, the way he is totally, I look to him in awe all the time, the way he is guided by Source, and just, it's a joy to parent these children when you can let go and let them take the lead. So talk divinity to them, right? And you know, have them come up with whatever it is. You know, when my first son does karate, we started talking about his inner sensei at like 5 years old. Talk to your inner sensei. Talk to them about spirit animals. Talk to them about the unseen realms. Remind them of their limitlessness. Never forget your limitlessness. That's what I tell my children. Always remember you can do anything. Don't let anyone limit you. And I don't let them believe the limitations of the earth. If my 5-year-old knew that he would be able to fly again one day, and I always encourage it, you will fly again. You absolutely will. No limits. Let them have their imaginations, because there is more truth in their imaginations than there is in the reality surrounding us. So talk to them of the divinity, remind them of their divinity, and let them never lose touch. Even though I guess I did just talk about preserving their divinity. All right, so we'll bookend it. All right, we'll bookend it. We started in the blog about preserving their divinity, and we'll end it about talking to them about their divinity and coming up with their own version of it. My youngest calls it a lion with wings is what his spirit animal is, his inner God. But talk to them about it. Foster it always, always, always. All right, there'll be more, because there's always more. And if you have any questions about higher dimensional parenting, even just how to handle a certain situation, just email it to me. And, you know, I could either make it a blog post or something else. If you have the question, chances are many others do. And let me just say, I don't have all this figured out. I absolutely don't have anything figured out at all. I have had to unlearn everything. So I am awesome at unlearning. I am so good at it. But as far as having it figured out, I just follow my heart, follow my kids. If they're happy, then all is well. All right, I will catch you later. I love you.